Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Unity on the River's virtual Sunday service for Sunday, February 14th, 2021. I am Rev Ogun Holder, Senior Minister here. As always, thrilled and honored that you have chosen, wherever you are, whenever you are, to watch our service and connect with us. Let us begin with a center in prayer. So I invite you to gently close the eyes. Take a few deep breaths, perhaps place a hand on the heart to connect with yourself. And today, as we honor Valentine's Day, we pay attention to that energy of love, the great harmonizing force that our co-founder Charles Fillmore spoke of, that which connects us, binds us, stands under everything, that which allows us to be one. And of course, we extend this love first and foremost from ourselves to ourselves. We allow ourselves to fall into that deep place of acceptance and love. And in so doing, we can shine that light of love to the world and transform it. So let us set that intention for today and every day moving forward, to love ourselves, to be kind to ourselves, to accept ourselves. And in so doing, we can extend it to the world. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen and amen. So as always, great music in store for you today. We got the boys in the shed. We have the yet to be determined, either dames in the den or ladies in the lounge, goddesses in the temple. It's, we're still workshopping it. Feel free to weigh in on what you think they should be called. We got some competing stuff going on here, but until then, we are thrilled to have Meg Rain, our music director, Christine, we got Brian, we got Keith, and I'm going to turn it over to Brian and Keith to remind us that all we need is love. Take it away, guys.
4. Nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. That's your part right there. That's it. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love is all you need. Nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can sing that can't be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to be you in time. It's easy. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love is all you need. One more time. All you need is love. All you need is love. All you need is love. Love is all you need. 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 Love is all you need.
Woo! That was wonderful, Brian. Oh, wow. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody, you beloved Unitics. So good to be with you. Just wrote this, big part of it this morning, and happy to open up with it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe in myself. I am the light and the way. I believe in myself. I am the way of God. 2, 3, 4. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe in love. Yeah, 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 yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe in love. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe in me. And I believe in you. I believe in the power that holds us and heals us and loves us so true, so true. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe in love, 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 love. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe in love, 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 love. I believe in me, I believe in me, and I believe in you, I believe in you. I believe that we are the fullness, the honest, the oneness of love so true. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe in love. Join us, come on, say. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe in love, 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 love. And I believe in me, and I believe in you, oh you. I believe in me, and I believe in you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe in me, I believe me, and I believe in you. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. I believe, I believe, I believe, yeah. Woo!
Awesome. Y'all are having way too much fun over there.
Peace and love.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's.
Awesome. So, speaking of peace and love, we are wrapping up our radical acceptance series. I invite you, if you're just tuning in to us for the first time and you don't know about this book, please pick up a copy. Go back to our YouTube channel and watch the previous services. Radical Acceptance by the teacher Tara Brach. We've been talking about acceptance as this way to awaken ourselves from this trance of unworthiness that we all, to some level, find ourselves trapped in from time to time. It's that pervasive feeling of us not being good enough, that we should be doing more, that we are not loved and lovable, all these things that we tell ourselves. This is about getting out of that so that we can live and love to the fullest potential that we're capable of. We talked about two wings, if you will, of radical acceptance: mindfulness and compassion. And how we really activate mindfulness is remembering to take what she calls a sacred pause, that in the midst of us being triggered or upset or angry or overcome by emotion, we do our best to notice it and remember to pause, stop our habitual ways of trying to avoid being in pain, check in with our bodies and see what's going on and the feelings that are arising. from that, and then to give ourselves the compassion to be with those feelings, and to accept them, and to cultivate a sense of loving kindness towards ourselves, and then we can extend it out to others. So as we conclude this series, the one thing that is left to remind us about, and it's perfect timing that it's on Valentine's Day, because this is, that time where those of us who are in relationships go the extra mile to make our loved ones feel loved, and whether it's other family members, a romantic partner, friends, whatever, this is a day that tends to invite us to focus on love. And part of the journey of radical acceptance is to get to a place where we can extend that love fully to ourselves. Last week we talked about how we tend to be able to extend compassion and forgiveness to others much easier than we do to ourselves. But the truth is, when we do it to ourselves first, it um, creates deep healing for ourselves, and gets us over those hurdles that we put in our own way to stop ourselves from loving ourselves. When we live from this place of radical acceptance, what we begin to see more and more is that basic intrinsic goodness in ourselves and others. And when we can see that goodness that's in ourselves and others, especially ourselves, then we can move to a place of more genuinely and open-heartedly loving ourselves. And when I say basic and intrinsic goodness, I'm talking about this is our essence. Goodness is our essence. And don't hear it in terms of like, good and bad of what's going on out there in the world. This is a sense of purity that we are, because we are made of and from God. We're made of and from love. So our basic essence, the core of who we are, our beingness is love. It's goodness. And if you doubt me, you just got to spend 5 minutes with a newborn or a baby that's a few months old, and even a toddler who's beginning to discover the world. There's this just sense of pure joy, pure goodness, pure love that is extended without expectation. So that's who we are at our essence. And as we've gone through life, because of wounds that we have acquired, we bury that intrinsic goodness and love deeper and deeper, in part to try and protect ourselves from further pain. And then after a while, it's like we don't even believe that we're it for ourselves. And to be clear, because we've buried this intrinsic goodness and love for ourselves so deep, it doesn't mean that we don't always make great choices, or good choices or bad choices, but the choices we make are not who we are. And what I mean by that is it's the difference between guilt and shame. And Brene Brown talks a lot about this. Guilt is the remorseful feeling we have when we've maybe done something wronged another person, or caused pain towards another person, or done something that's not right by our own standards. That's guilt, and in some cases that's actually beneficial to help us not repeat that. But then there's shame, and shame is that deep, abiding feeling of unworthiness, that there's something wrong with me, something broken within me. And shame has no place in love. Shame is this story that seeks to tell us that we are not loved and lovable, that we're not made from love and made to love and be loved. So the journey of radical acceptance is awakening that realization that we often hold ourselves in shame, and we need to dissolve that shame. When we don't see the basic goodness in ourselves and other people, We forget that there's a sense of oneness and connectivity, that when we harm another, we harm ourselves, and when we harm ourselves, we harm another. This is this idea of oneness that we talk about. When we don't see the intrinsic goodness in ourselves and others, we start to hold resentments against other people. And I love how she describes resentment in the book. Resentment, she says, is that idea of feeling it all over again, reliving the story of how we believed we were wronged, right? So we keep retelling that story, replaying that story, relitigating the story, feeling the feelings that come up from it all over again, and we hold on to them. That's resentment. And more often than not, the resentment that we feel for other people is actually deep down the resentment we feel for ourselves. We're just projecting it out there. The way we dissolve those resentments, and here's why we need to dissolve the resentments again, is blocking ourselves from loving and being loved as truly as we can be. But resentments also block the flow of abundance, right? Because when there is resentment, we don't see the good that's in front of us. And if you've ever taken an abundance class, a prosperity class, read any abundance book, what you remember is that the universe, I believe, is conspiring for our good. But when we hold others in resentments, we do not see the gift and the good that they are bringing towards us. So how do we begin to dissolve those resentments? It's through forgiveness, which she describes in the book as letting go of the blame and opening up to the pain that we've tried to push away. Letting go of the blame and opening to the pain that we have tried to push away. And as we said before, pain is not a good or a bad thing. Pain is just pain. We're the ones who ascribe the meaning of pain is bad and should be avoided at all costs. Or if you feel pain, let's hurry up and do what we can to cover it up. But pain points the way to where the deeper healing needs to happen. And the part of radical acceptance is, again, accepting that that's what's happening within us and just being with it to see where it takes us. So what is forgiveness again? Letting go of blame and opening to the pain. And forgiveness is hard because, you know, when we speak of others who have wounded us and done us wrong and caused us trauma and in some cases abused us, it's hard for us to forgive that person, to let go of the blame of that person having wronged us. So she provides a kind of a great first step, which is to say, rather than forgive a self, a person, we try to forgive the experiences that we identify with that person. Let me say that again. Instead of trying to forgive the person, as in try to remove the blame for them because it may be their responsibility for what they did, we forgive the experience. So what that looks like is when we think of what happened, we can start by simply saying, I forgive this, and therefore start dissolving the energy around the experience, not necessarily around the person. Okay. And to be clear, forgiveness doesn't mean we excuse that person or their harmful behavior or allow ourselves to be open to more entry. That's not what it means. Forgiveness is a process of dropping under the blame and the resentment into even what the deeper pain is and the deeper emotional, spiritual wounds, so that we can begin to heal them, so that we can dissolve the chains of resentment. That's really what forgiveness is. It's an inside job for us, not for anyone else out there. And it's not a product of effort, but of openness. We don't strain our way to forgiveness. We relax into openness. And it's not, again, a process that has a beginning and an end. It's a state of being. It's just a way of being into the openness. When we can do that, then we can begin to dissolve those resentments just by staying open. So how do we remember our intrinsic goodness? She invites us to reflect on the qualities and behaviors we appreciate in ourselves. reflect on the qualities and behaviors we appreciate in ourselves. Remember that saying, what's that saying? It's not good to blow your own trumpet. And I like to say, well, if no one's blowing my trumpet, who else is gonna, right? It's okay to reflect, not to boastfully brag or be in that ego place, but simply reflect internally on your qualities and behaviors that you appreciate in yourself. When you've extended kindness, when you've been a loving presence, when you've helped someone who needed help, when you have eased the suffering of another, when you were compassionate. These are all wonderful qualities, and you should appreciate yourself for them. But even if that's too awkward and too uncomfortable, she invites us to acknowledge our basic desire to be happy, to be loved, and to feel our own goodness. And if even that's too much of a stretch, she invites us to look through the eyes of someone who loves us. I call this borrowing the belief of another person. Even if you can't believe in your own goodness, in your own talents, in your own greatness, in the wonderful being of light that you are, others will see it. Allow them to tell you about it and accept that. Borrow their belief. She writes that as our trust in our basic goodness deepens, we're able to express our love and creativity more fully in the world. When we are not consumed by blaming and turning on ourselves and others, we are free to cultivate our talents and gifts together, to contribute them to the world in service. We are free to love each other and the whole of life without holding back. We are free to love each other and the whole of life without holding back. When we keep ourselves steeped in resentments, it tampons down our creativity. It tampons down how we spread our love into the world. And through forgiveness, we become free to love ourselves, each other, the whole of life, and bring that creativity out into the world. Every Sunday, you see this amazing group of talented musicians, creative musicians. These are also people who I know from personal experience are like the greatest avatars of love that I have met in my lifetime. And that's no accident that the two of those go together. This is the heart of spiritual awakening, when we can love each other and connect with each other and have these conscious relationships with each other that are based in love, not in resentment. And it doesn't mean that it's gonna be a perfect, and no such thing as perfect, but a perfect relationship where we may never say anything or do anything that doesn't trigger us. But again, going all the way back to spiritual partnerships, but even in this series on radical acceptance, when others do things that we feel pain from, again, that's our invitation to go under that pain and realize what is the healing that needs to happen, because that was our own wound that was triggered. I've been saying this a lot in the last few weeks, in the last series before this, but I think that's the crux of our transformation right there. That's the thing that we were having trouble really getting and accepting, that our healing, our true healing, comes as a result of being triggered by others, feeling the pain and going under that pain to wrap our own wounds in our own love. And believe that when we can truly do that, we'll be freed from resentments and fear and greed and all those things that help create this disjointed world. Because as we spiritually mature, our desire to live with each other in truth, with open heart, becomes more compelling. That's what drives us more than the habit of avoiding pain and getting lost with distraction. But all of this is predicated on the one single question that she asks us in this book. Do you really trust that you are a Buddha? Do you really trust that you are God, that you are divine, that you are an avatar of light? Do you really trust and believe that in your heart of hearts? Do you trust that you are an awakened one? Do you trust and believe that you are worthy? Because even if you don't feel it, trust in it and knowing it for yourself, believing that that's the state of it, can begin to shift your feelings around it and really step you into true radical acceptance. There's a beautiful poem she shares in the book on page 258, and I'll close the talk today by sharing it. My beloved child, break your heart no longer. Each time you judge yourself, you break your own heart. You stop feeding on the love, which is the wellspring of your vitality. The time has come, your time, to live, to celebrate, and to see the goodness that you are. Let no one, no thing, no idea, no ideal obstruct you. If one comes, even in the name of truth, forgive it for its unknowing. Do not fight. Let go and breathe into the goodness that you are. Breathe into the goodness that you are. I see the goodness in each and every one of you. Please see it for yourself. Let us take this into a time of meditation, and I'll invite Meg to lead us in. God is all there is.
God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. God is all there is. God is all there will ever be. Love is all there is. Love is all there will ever be. Love is all there is. Love is all there will ever be.
So if you haven't yet, I invite you to gently close the eyes. Find a comfortable seated position and simply begin to turn your attention to your breath. Simply breathe and allow yourself to begin to become fully present. Check in with the body. See how you feel, what's arising, if there's any places of tension. Simply breathe into those gently, deeply, without judgment, allowing them to soften in this moment. Allow your thoughts to follow the flow of the in-breath and the out-breath and the moments of stillness between. Allow the breath to anchor you in this now moment. Let us use this time as an invitation to forgive ourselves. Let us begin by bringing to mind some aspect of yourself that feels unforgivable. Perhaps you can't forgive yourself for being judgmental and controlling. Perhaps you might hate yourself for being cowardly and not taking the risks that make your life feel more fulfilling. Perhaps you might feel disgust for mental obsessions and jealousy. Sense what feels bad about your unforgivable behavior or emotional way of thinking. How does it make you feel about yourself? How might it prevent you from being happy? Allow yourself to feel the pain that makes you want to push away that part of yourself. Now begin to explore more deeply what is driving this part of your being. If you've been addicted to food or nicotine or alcohol, what need are you trying to satisfy? What fear are you trying to soothe? When you are judging others, are you feeling fearful yourself? If you have wounded another person, did you act out of hurt and insecurity? Out of the need to feel power or safety? As you become aware of underlying wants and fears, allow yourself to feel them directly in your body and heart and mind. Now begin to offer a sincere message of forgiveness to whatever feelings, thoughts, or behaviors you are rejecting. You might softly whisper to yourself, I see how I have caused my suffering, and I begin to forgive myself. Or simply offer yourself the words, forgiven, forgiven. Meet whatever arises, whether it is fear or judgment or shame or grief, with a message of forgiveness. Allow the hurt to unravel in the openness of a forgiven heart. As you practice, you may feel as if you are going through the motions and not actually capable of forgiving yourself. You might even believe you don't deserve to be forgiven. You might be afraid that if you forgive yourself, you'll just do the same thing again. Maybe you feel afraid that if you really open and forgive yourself, you will come face to face with an intolerable truth about yourself. If these doubts and fears arise, notice them, acknowledge them, accept them with compassion. Perhaps now is not the time, and you can say, it is my intention to forgive myself when I am able. This intention is a seed of forgiveness, a willingness to open your heart. So let us spend a few moments in the silence, allowing ourselves to accept what has arisen and face it with an open heart, with compassion, with love, with forgiveness, for a few moments in the silence. And as we begin to hold ourselves in that open heart of compassion and forgiveness, we can begin to do so for others. Let us be open. Let us be willing to be the face of love, to be the heart of forgiveness. When we do this, we see the goodness in ourselves. We see the goodness in others. And then we truly see what a wonderful world this is. So let us bring ourselves back to this time, the space, wherever you are at, whenever you are. And ground this time where we truly begin to live from that place of radical acceptance, from that place of seeing the goodness in ourselves and all. With what a wonderful world.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Thank you, Brian. That was beautiful. So speaking of the wonderful world of unity on the river, some opportunities for you to connect with the wider community around. We're still doing our Wednesday night deeper dive on radical acceptance, the book, some discussions, some guided meditations. So you can connect with us on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for that. And also the book study around caste, the origins of our discontent, as we continue to have discussions around how we can play a part in dismantling the systemic racism that has plagued the nation for the last 400 years. That's continuing on Tuesday nights as well. Please feel free to drop into either of those at any time. You haven't had to have read before or anything, just drop on in and join the discussion. Also, the congregation dialogues with Martha Creek are continuing. I'm hearing some really, really good things about those. There's going to be one today, Sunday, the 14th at 6 p.m. And then I think there's only like 2 more after that. So if you've not had the opportunity to come talk with your fellow congregants, talk with Martha, some board members, just really help, process any feelings you may have around anything around our community, from where we've been over the last 20 some years, selling the building to my departure, whatever's coming up for you. This is a safe, welcoming space to share those feelings. All the information about Martha's dialogues and the classes are on our website. We're still looking for someone to help take over our direct communications director position. That's handling the website, social media, the newsletter, that sort of stuff. If you have any interest in that, please let me know or let someone on the board know. And thank you again, all of you who've been reaching out to the board and saying, I want to step into more service for this community by becoming a board member. We really appreciate all of you stepping forward. If you're still interested, please let the board know. As always, there's a process where we go through. There's an application you fill out, and then there's a committee of members who goes through a preliminary interview with you as well. So it is a process. So everyone who says I want to be a board member isn't necessarily going to meet all the criteria. So if you're wondering what all that is, please reach out to the board 15 at unityontheriver.org, and let them know. Please, as always, if you're watching this Sunday morning, connect with us, virtual Zoom hospitality at 11 a.m. The links on our website, unityontheriver.org. We'll have prayer chaplains who can go in a separate breakout room and pray with you. We'll have board members who are here to take your questions. And as always, please, the quickest way to get reminded about all the things and events that are happening is to sign up for our text alerts. That's text UOTR to 313131, and we'll send out text alerts to remind you about things that are happening and going on in our community. As always, thank you for choosing to invest in our spiritual community so that we can continue to bring these services to you. You can go over to unityontheriver.org/donate to donate with a credit card. You can mail us a check to our office. That's 14 Cedar Street, Suite 203 in Amesbury. And you can also sign up for a very, very quick, easy text to give from your phone. If you've not set this up yet, It's very easy. Text GIVE, GIVE, to 833-702-4337. It's like a 5 to 10 minute setup process, if that long. And it's a one-time setup, and then you just text the amount you want to give to us, and that's all it takes after that. So with that being said, those are our announcements for today. Hope to see you if you're watching again Sunday morning in hospitality. Let's connect, have some fun discussion. Last week it got really interesting, our hospitality. We were just talking and sharing, and all of a sudden it turned into a great discussion about how much we love plants. And it just took a turn, but it was great. Everyone's sharing their favorite stories and childhood memories of their experience with plants. I mean, didn't see it coming, didn't plan for it, but it was awesome. By the end of the hour, we were just all laughing and sharing together. You just never know the turn these things will take, but they were great. So please, hope you can join us, even if you haven't watched the service. Or you're watching this at a later time, schedule yourself to come to hospitality. Even if you watch the service at a later date, we would love to see you. So that's it for today. Let us energetically, symbolically, across space and time, join hands as we sing, "Let There Be Peace on Earth."
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth. Peace that was meant to be. With God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other. Perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And our prayer for protection: the light of God surrounds us.
We are
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
Together, wherever we
Wherever we are,
God
God
is,
is,
and all is
well. We are richly blessed.
Happy Valentine's Day. See you in hospitality. If you're watching Sunday morning, please forgive yourselves. Be your best loving selves for the world. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone. Love you. See you
Bye,
at
everybody. Happy
hospitality.
Valentine's Day.